You know, there's nothing like being in the green room. This is where all the magic takes place, and it's where we get to be behind the scenes. We get to understand the who, what, when, where, and how. We have the one and only Rekesha Pittman in the building. She's in the building right now. And Rekesha, okay, they've read your bio. They know how great and wonderful you are. But I always like to ask folks when we first start up, like, who is Rekesha? And more importantly, what are you up to these days?
Well, I'm a woman on a mission. I'm driven. I have been passionate about people publishing their books for many, many years. And I'm a lover of information. I'm a lover of transformation. And so I'm up to changing people's lives through empowering them through tools, strategies, tips. And that's who I am. I like to help people birth what's on the inside of them.
You know, they're watching right now. There's a number of folks out there seeing this go east. And the first question has to be, take us to what's the origin story. What was the defining moment where this whole east thing popped in your mind? You said, this has to happen no matter what. And what mission are you on now with Go East?
Yes, well, East is entrepreneur, author, speaker, trainer. And I didn't know that it was a formula until I had an aha moment, which was about 2018. So I go to lots of conferences. I am always thinking about ways to improve myself, ways to connect with other people, ways to network. And so I'm a studier of success stories and a studier of success systems. So I noticed a pattern in the lives of ultra uber successful entrepreneurs. I'm not just talking about the local entrepreneur that we know or the mom and pop success story that we know, but mega millionaire, multimillionaire entrepreneurs. And I noticed a pattern. I noticed that not only did they have a business and were likely to be a serial entrepreneur, but they were always putting out books. So when we see the big titans like Grant Cardone and Gary Vee and even Damon John and Barbara Corcoran and many people who are players in the game, they released books that solidified their expertise. And I'm like, okay, they're entrepreneurs and they're authors. And then I saw them speaking, mega stages, mega events, speaking in social media, speaking online. Okay, they're entrepreneurs, they're authors, and they're speakers. And then they would offer these training programs or some type of training arena, right? So when we see the big ones, sometimes you have huge arenas or huge ballrooms, or they're filling up convention centers, the Dave Ramseys and things like that. So entrepreneur, author, speaker, trainer, 2018, it hit me. Boom. That's the East formula. Because I really wanted to find out what makes these ultra successful, multimillionaire entrepreneur magnates work. And the East formula was developed, and it kind of hit me right in the brain in 2018.
You know, there are folks that are watching right now. They're dualpreneurs. There's a mom out there that's worked all day, or dad that's worked all day. Now they're home working on their business all night. They're taking care of the children, or they're taking care of the kids, or they're taking care of family members, or they're taking care of things they need to do personally. And they're tuned in right now because of this big, bold claim that there's a new direction for creating lucrative opportunities and innovative income streams. We'll get to that on the other side, but I want you to take about a minute or two. And why should that person tune in? Why should they continue to listen in their earpods right now? Why should they continue to play it on their iPad while they're cooking right now? What's most important to the entrepreneur that's going to hear about this conversation we're going to have coming up in just a few minutes?
That there's a way to simplify everything. You don't have to chase. We tell, oh, you need 7 different income streams. Well, what if all the streams ran parallel? You know, there's an easier way to do this. So if you're tired of kind of running in 7 different directions, the East formula will streamline that for you and make it enjoyable at the same time. So stay tuned.
You know, I can't wait. I'm going to get on the other side. The first question I'm going to ask, ladies and gentlemen, is why do people struggle with this? And maybe she'll have an answer for that. Look, we've got a show for Barbara Beckley that's out there right now, for Samantha that's out there right now, for Carol down in Atlanta. Thanks for joining. It's always a pleasure. Eddie up in New York, New York. So nice to name it twice. We've got a show. We've got to get ready in 5. I can't wait. It's my favorite part. 4, 3, 2. Well, that didn't really do numbers right. But we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. We got a show. promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission is to empower. Our mission is to improve. And our mission is to provide you, that's right, you, the entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big, big, big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And I always like to share 3 visions as we get started. I think there's 3 visions that you have. I believe first, you have a vision for yourself. There's a certain food that you want to eat. There's a certain home that you want to live in. I love having air conditioning during this time of year, or heat, depending on where you are right now. There's a certain type of way that you want to be. And in order for you to do that, it takes resources, which means you need some revenue to make that a reality, right? And then there's a second vision that you have. I believe you have a vision for your loved ones, the ones you care the most about. I mean, the kids you want to send to a school of your choice. Some of you want to write a check for a cause that you believe in. Many of you write checks for someone's health care insurance. You want to be a blessing to someone else. Or maybe like me, Mother Dear is still here. She's 73 years old, turns 74 this year, and I get a pleasure of hanging out with her. And whatever you want, Mother, get it. She loves ordering off of Amazon. Amazon's connected to my card. Okay, don't say anything about that. She's like, I got to update this one day. Yes, I'm sure one day, Mother. You got to show me how to do it. Sure. And maybe that's what you want to do. It takes resources. It takes revenue to make that a reality. And the last vision I believe you have is you have a vision for the people out there that you were called to serve. And I like to use the analogy of Noah in the Bible. Now, you don't have to be a believer, I'm a believer, but you don't have to be one. But imagine Noah in the Bible. And he had this vision. He got all the experience from God. He has all the expertise for God. And imagine Noah's about to get on this mission. And right before Noah gets going, there's a knock at the door. Boom, boom, boom. And someone's out front yelling, yo, Noah. They did say yo back in the day. I want y'all to know that. Yo, Noah, there's a problem. There's no hammer in the house. Noah's cool with that. And someone else is yelling, Noah, Shorty, over here, Shorty, Shorty. They did say Shorty back in the day. I want y'all to know that, by the way. There's no nails either. No hammer, no nails. Rule number 1, he's not panicking. He's not even worried. But then he's looking in the back and someone's waving. Noah, back here. Noah, over here. Noah. I might as well report that there is no wood and there's no people to put the boat together. Good luck on this mission. And maybe that's you right now. You got a big heart. You can't believe any more than you believe. And now it's time for your faith to hit your feet, but you got a problem. You ain't got no revenue. Well, this morning, this evening, this afternoon, the one and only Rekesha Pittman is in the building to talk about Go East. What's up, Rekesha? How are you?
I'm feeling fantastic because I'm headed eastward.
I love it. Now, let's just address this elephant in the room. You say, look, there's a way to create lucrative revenue. And you can do this when you go east. Okay, first, for those folks that weren't in the green room, because everyone's not in the green room hanging out with us, and they're curious, what is this whole Go East thing about? So what is Go East? Just break that down for them for a moment. And then I'm going to come back, y'all. I'm going to ask them, what's the biggest challenge people have going east?
Yes. So East is the direction for entrepreneurs who want to create cycles of success. And East stands for entrepreneur, author, speaker, trainer, utilizing all 4 facets concurrently so that you're always fresh on the circuit, you're always cutting edge, and you are the go-to expert in your industry. So of course, E is entrepreneur. What are you doing that is solving a problem? Is it a service? Is it a product? What is it that you are providing that is a revenue generating activity that requires marketing, that requires sales, that is not just a hobby? That is the anchor of the East formula, and that is the security of your business. And from your business type, you will launch a book related to your business. right? As an author. So this establishes you as an expert, or you use it to answer questions, or you use it to get new clients. Simple. And then you're going to talk about it, whether it's on social media, it's on platforms or stages, it's on television, radio, media. You need to talk about your realm of expertise. And then from that, are you hosting events? Are you hosting conferences? Are you doing masterminds? Are you developing courses? All of that working together is interrelated. You don't have to be everywhere. It's all under the same umbrella. And from that, your streams can flow and run. That way you're making lucrative choices and you're not stretched too thin. That's the East formula.
When you say not stretched too thin, thanks for sharing this with us. I'm curious, what's the biggest challenge that you're seeing is holding people back? Because I don't want to minimize this, but it sounds pretty simple, right? I'm going to be an entrepreneur. It sounds pretty easy. I'm going to be an author. That sounds pretty easy. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to be a speaker and I'm going to be a trainer. It sounds easy, but why, based on your experience, what's one of the challenges that holds people back from being able to do all four? Because they're hearing you saying it makes sense, but it's been tough for me.
Well, I know now that our options have grown, right? So before we were taught these, if you want to be rich, right, you have to be in the professions. Well, now with cutting edge technology and people are becoming millionaires in multiple ways, especially using apps and technology, right? People feel like, oh, well, which way do I go? Now they don't know. What they used to do has been totally upended. And now you have all of these choices out there. And so you're saying, okay, if this is not working, Who Moved My Cheese is one of the books that I'm so glad that I read. But if this is not working, then maybe I need to try something else. So we don't want to stick to anything anymore. We try a whole bunch of different things and see, what is it that's going to work? Where is it that I'm going to tap into, right? So I think that people do not focus on what your core talent is. And your core talent is crucial. And your core talent is key in making the East formula work. Oh, Rekesha, what's a core talent? It's that innate thing that you were born with, that it doesn't matter what you try to do, you can't run from it. It's the thing that everyone asks of you all the time, whether it's paid or not. It's the thing that even if you don't love to do it, you end up doing it all the time. And once you identify that thing, you can build all of your content, all of your streams around that thing. My thing is teaching and training. So I teach and train through my business. I teach and train through my books. I teach and train on stages and virtual platforms, and I teach and train people through courses and in person. That's my expression of the East formula. Whatever your core talent is, you can develop it. That way you're always in your natural realm of talent and function, and it won't be such a struggle.
I love, for those folks that are out there, do me a favor, hit the share button. I mean, one of the things that we believe is we believe in the giver's economy. The person outgives the competition, out earns the competition. The person outgives the competition, out earns the competition. So I'm going to ask you, as you're watching right now, hit the share button. Like, take your two thumbs and hit the share button. Some of you can take a button and push your little iPad. If you're on a computer, hit the button, pay it forward. Why would you want to do that? You're going to bless someone else out there. You're going to make a difference for them. Rekesha showed up to serve plus add value. And so for Sunshine White that's out there that says hello, by the way. Lisa Ann Johnson is out there that says hello, by the way. Tommy, my man, I see he's out in Houston. So many folks that are tuned in on different platforms. Thank you so much for watching. Look, Rekesha, I'm gonna bring it back, and folks are wondering, what's your big why? And they hear you pushing this, and we're going to come back to it because I want you to do a drill down of the four. If you had to place for folks to start, where would they start? But before we do that, they're like, wait a minute, I heard a little bit of her backstory, I read her bio, but what is Rekesha Pittman's big why? Why is she so passionate about this when she could do a whole lot of other things with her time, but you're really passionate on Go East?
I love to defy the odds, and I love to upend stereotypes, not only for myself, but for others. I don't like limitations. I don't like people to tell me I can't. I don't like to hear what's not possible. So those things have been the drivers behind my passion, I love to see people's mindsets change. I love to see them manifest dreams that they've had. I have helped over 500 authors publish books. It is life changing. It is forever altering. It is a legacy act. And those things drive me. I can't explain it. It's not something that I necessarily volunteered for or signed up for, but it's something that chased me down. And so I finally just opened my arms and hugged it back. And I allowed my passion, my core talent of teaching and training people to lead me and to make sure that I am training them in areas that actually makes their lives better, and not just giving them a bunch of information that I think they want, actually giving them the tools that they need to build and to yield the results that they're looking for.
Now you do this, and this is what you love to do. It's what you're born to do. And you mentioned that the teaching and training is what you do. Take a moment, and it's got Go East. And so there's 4 opportunities, and folks can, if they were like, where would she suggest I start? And how would she help someone along this journey with any of the 4, right? And you can pick whichever the 4 you want them to start, and then maybe share. You don't have to mention someone's name, but maybe share an example of how your firm has been able to help someone really elevate in that one area.
Yes, well, usually people immediately recognize what part of the East formula they're missing. So people will say, I have the E. I'm in real estate. I got that. I'm making sales. I'm hitting the numbers. So I have the E part down, but I'm missing the A. I don't have a book. And then, of course, the excuse for that is I don't have the time, which we'll debunk that later. You do. And you have the content and you have the expertise. So it's really not a matter of time. It's a matter of focus. Or they'll say, you know what? I'm an entrepreneur and I've been training, but I'm trying to figure out how to be a professional speaker. And on top of that, how do I make money doing it? Well, there's several ways to do it. But if you're only set on going places where there's a paycheck, sometimes you miss out on an opportunity to make 5, 6 figures in the speaking arena, just trying to, wait for the paycheck. Sometimes you have to create opportunities for that check. So the first thing that you can do is say, okay, entrepreneur, author, speaker, trainer, what part am I missing? And whatever the missing piece is, let me start there, right? And make sure that if it's a book or if it's a speaking platform, that I am connecting them all and that I am not necessarily having a business in one area. And then my book may be about something like a cookbook or something if I'm not a chef, that's totally different. And then I'm speaking on platforms about how to, build resources in the community. No. So we have to make sure that it's all interconnected and interrelated. And my encouragement to you is, even if you have published a book before, or if you are doing courses and content that are not related to where you are now, it is okay to recalibrate and to bring all things into alignment so that you can go east and not have any breakdowns along the way.
Now, for the person that's thinking, I'm thinking to myself, might be someone out there like me is thinking, okay, I just, Shay, if you got to pick one, pick author, right? And what would, and this is it's a loaded question, so you're going to have to frame it. But what would Rekesha say, should I be writing and focusing on my story and sharing that, and that helps spread who I am? Should I be writing on my gift that I know how to help people, make sales? If I was writing the very first book and I wanted to get out there as an author, do I just sign up and be in an anthology? Does that qualify me to be an author? So I'm just going to take one piece. Now, I'm going to suggest everyone out there to hit the share button. And don't worry, I'm going to ask Rekesha Pittman if her firm works with folks and how they do it. And I just thought I'd pick any one of them. I could have picked the E, could have picked the A, the ST. I just picked author because it's me. So I'm thinking, gosh, like if I had to do my first one and I really want to get the East formula going, do I just be in an anthology? So let's go to Rekesha and ask her. And again, you can frame it. I just gave you a little box thinking about myself. But I know y'all out there, y'all not alone. Someone thinking like me, I ain't done my first book either, Shay. But what would you recommend? What's some guiding principles that you would use?
That was an excellent point to ponder right there. So I would say it depends. There is no one-stop shop or one-way solution for everyone, but I will say this as my opinion. And it might be a little controversial, but we don't really care about your personal story until you are a success. So a lot of people start with their bios, and that's okay if you want to do it as a family project or something like that. But when you're doing the East formula and you're really trying to position yourself, my personal suggestion is that you write a book that answers or solves a problem. So in the publishing industry, I started writing books that answered people's issues, and I was able to leverage those books and conjoin them with courses and speaking programs and workshops. That made me way more money than if I was just trying to sell my life story, because at that point, how is that helping someone? It might inspire someone. But when you empower people and you touch and reach their lives and you change their lives, then they want to hear a little bit about the success behind the story, which we have seen in Hollywood, right? They make it, then we hear their backstory, we're interested. But before then, it just sounds like, hey, you got a sad story. Okay, so that's just a suggestion. When you think about anthologies, I have done anthologies, I have published anthologies. There has to be a strategy behind the anthology, because can I ask you a question? So when's the last time you purchased an anthology, and how many anthologies do you really have? So when you publish, I think it's a great way to enter the publishing world if you're feel that you don't quite have enough material to publish a full book yourself, which you do, okay? But if you feel that way, then submitting a chapter to an anthology with a strategy is a great way to start. But if you think that it's going to make you rich, it probably won't, but at least that you can say that you've published in some kind of way. And if that's a way for you to get in the door, get in the door. But I highly suggest that you release your very own book that aligns with your expertise, or it aligns with the business systems that you know that are going to help other people grow.
I love it. Talk to two type of folks. Your company does a lot with the Go East, and we'll pick one more. I wish we had time to get into many more. And again, these are unfair questions, but I like the T, which is a trainer. And I like for you to talk to the two type of individuals that may be out there. First, the professional. And they're like, well, I'm like Rekesha. I love training. I preach at my church. I teach my Sunday school. I'm a coach, by the way, and this is what I do. And so they're wondering, what would you suggest to someone like me who's already doing it? And then there's the other person that says, I don't really like talking to people. It's not my jam. It really isn't, but I'm good at what I do. I know what I know, and my material needs to be taught. And so I know, again, you have a whole formula. You have a whole system. I know you meet with folks, but in the time that we have, kind of address those two. And for those folks that are out there that are watching right now, and you're like, I want to pay this message forward, Shay. Is Rekesha okay with me taking this link and sharing this to my network? Is she okay with me copying or hitting the share button? Because my tribe could benefit from this. My community could benefit this. And also, I want to bless someone else, because I'm wondering, Shay, how do I give Rekesha a digital applause? Well, the biggest applause you can give her is hit the share button. The biggest applause you can give her is take the link and say, Rekesha is sharing the Go East formula. Check it out. That's the biggest applause you could do. So if you could do that, we really appreciate it. We want to bless as many people as possible. All right, Rekesha, they haven't forgotten that we're on the T. They haven't forgotten that you're going to answer the question. So I'm going to hand it over to you. Two type of folks. What's your recommendation? The pro, quote unquote, and the expert. The amateur, quote unquote, for lack of a better term.
Yes. Well, as we have all seen, the state of the world has forced us all into the virtual landscape where you have to show up. We've had to show up on Zooms for business, for our jobs. You've had to come in front of the camera. So you've been forced into this virtual world, whether you like to be seen or not. The thing that I think that helps us all, really, is to put the message in front of you. So when I go live, or when I train, and when I show up to teach in the teaching part of East, I think about the message. How is it? We're talking about being people of service. We're talking about helping people. We're talking about transforming people. So if you are in the people passion arena, then it has to be bigger than you. So at that point, I stop thinking about my hangups, my issues, whether I like my voice or not, whether I like how I look on camera or not, whether I like my mannerisms or not. And I think about all the people who say, because of you, I was able to publish. Because of you, I was able to earn money. Because of you, I was able to grow my business. That's more important than my personal struggles. So sometimes I think we make our personal issues bigger than the global global issues or the people issues. And so I've taken a back seat and made my mission first and foremost. And hey, if you are a seasoned professional, then maybe it's time to upgrade a little bit. Some of us feed off of the energy of a live audience, but when you put that mission up front, you can have that same energy and that effervescence, knowing that there's someone on the other side of that computer that you are reaching. So level up your game a little bit, make your background nice, get some great lighting, show up, change your look up a little bit, change your material up a little bit. But what people are responding to, do more of, give more of, and then sometimes you just have to ask, what is it that you would like me to teach you? What is it that you would like to hear from me? And based on the results of that, rock it and show up and train the people. I take my labels off of introvert and extrovert, and I just think about how I can help people go vertical, go up to subvert some things that they have been struggling with. But it's really not about me. And that's the reason why I write. That's the reason why I'm in business. That's the reason why I speak. And that's the reason why I train. Life is bigger than me. And if you know that your mission is bigger than you, then show up and be an entrepreneur, author, speaker, trainer for the people.
Show up and be. I love it. I love it. Spot on. We're at a point now, Rekesha, where we're entering a phase, and this is what we call our methodology. And one of our core methodologies is this whole belief that today is my January 1st. Let me say it again. For those folks that know what I'm about to do now and what segment we're going into, you can look right below the video, and write those words. Today is my January 1st. Today is my January 1st. And for those other folks who are watching and want to know what in the LL Cool J is Shay talking about over there, today is my January 1st represents one of those moments that's on the calendar. You don't wait for the calendar to say January 1st. You create a January 1st anytime you make a decision. And there's probably 1,000 decisions you make throughout the day. And any one of those decisions could change the trajectory of your life. You make a decision that you're going to work out. Remember that New Year's resolution? That's a January 1st moment. Or you're going to sit back. You're going to binge watch Prime Video, Hulu, Netflix. You make a decision that you're going to have hamburgers and French fries. You don't feel good about that. I know, with the salt, pepper, ketchup, and the hot sauce. Or you make a decision. You're going to go to the refrigerator. You're going to open up the refrigerator. Inside that refrigerator, there's some kale. There's some broccoli. I know it tastes good. There's some Brussels sprouts. Some of y'all mouths are watering. That's a January 1st. So today is my January 1st, represents a do-over. It represents a fresh start. It means my past is no longer my future. And so my question to Rekesha Pittman on the other side is, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what goes through your mind?
Decision day. Decision day. I am with you. I realize that some of us have hangups. I'm a person. I'm a woman. There's issues that I have. So one of the things that was preventing me from showing up, and I'm going to be honest, and I always try to be transparent and give things that are going to help you, was I had climbed to the highest weight in my life in 2019. I couldn't believe it. But also that made me not want to be in pictures. That made me not want to be in video. That made me not want to show up at events, because I'm thinking people are going to see me and they're going to wonder what it was that I was going through. So in that same idea of how can I best serve others, right? Not just me, but how can I best serve others? I was like, enough is enough. I need to be fit. I need to have the energy to do this. I want to be confident when I stand in front of people. And it's not whether they think I'm beautiful or skinny. It's not about that. It was about the way that I was feeling about myself that was preventing me from serving to my maximum level of capacity. So in October of 2019, that was my January 1st. And I decided to commit to being my best self, to exercising on a regular basis, and to putting things in my body that were going to give me energy. And I am so blessed and happy to say that I get messages all the time. People have seen the progress. You have before and you have after. I'm during right now. Okay. I'm halfway there. I'm during. But I've noticed that other people, without me even saying, hey, go to the gym, Other people have been inspired. Other people have seen it. Other people have been motivated. And now here I am. I'm okay with taking a full-length picture for my book cover. See what I'm saying? I'm okay getting ready to stand on the stage because I'm not going to be so conscious about what I look like or how I feel like I failed myself. Now I'm going to put the people first. I'm going to put the mission first, and I can focus on them because I am not struggling with some of the little stresses maybe that some of us faced in the middle of a pandemic and unprecedented world events, you know? So as you're going east, remember, even though we're serving people and we're meeting the needs of people, it starts with us, and we have to take care of ourselves to be able to give our best selves to the people.
Give our best selves to our people. I love how you say that. Congratulations. You're an inspiration to everyone that's out there watching, myself included. If you've got a bet on yourself right now. It's a good bet to make, and you're winning that bet, by the way. You know, folks are wondering right now, myself included, what type of clients does your firm work with these days? If you're taking on any clients, I don't know if you are or not, to be honest with you. And secondly, how can they best connect with you? How can they stay in this conversation? You mentioned you do the whole go east. So they're like, well, Shay, does she do training? Does she do seminars? Does she do events? Does she do online? So it's a fair question. So I'll turn it over to you to talk about how, one, the type of clients you're looking to work with. And secondly, how can folks stay in this conversation with you over and beyond the time that we have right now?
Absolutely. Our core focus is the entrepreneur, the decider, the decision maker, the one who understands that life is about taking risks and is not afraid to do so, who understands how to lane shift a little bit. And I always say this, stay in your lane is aimed at those who choose to remain bound to the ground. There are no lanes in the sky when you fly, understanding that as long as you know systems and you know structure, that you can pretty much get into any industry knowing that core talent, right? What is your core talent? Knowing that. So we're looking for solid people who have said, yes, I am an entrepreneur. I'm a risk taker. I'm a person of business. Any industry, as long as you are a business person, we are willing to work with you. And from there, we'll make sure that you develop a book that highlights your expertise, that you have signature talks that connect to your book and your expertise, and that you develop training programs, courses, systems that pull people into the conversation. You can have ongoing development and training with them. And I am so happy that this year we get to do a live event. We have been in the house for so long. We've been doing virtual events for so long. So one way that you can get this is at the East Summit, theeastsummit.com. This is something that we do on a regular basis. So if you go over there, you will see the offering that we have that is coming up for you this year to meet us in person. And you don't want to take a long time to go over there because you might miss something. Right. So go to theeastsummit.com. And ongoing, of course, we go east in everything that we do. You can head over to theeastformula.com and see what our latest events are, any academy offerings, trainings that we have available for you. And this will help you go into the direction and you can navigate your way to the life of your dreams. Go east with me.
I love it. Go east with the one and only Rekesha Pittman. We're moving to a segment now called Rapid Fire. And Rapid Fire is a segment where we get to ask any question that's on our mind, and Rekesha can answer it or she can do a pass. And Rekesha, one of my favorite questions to ask, and I ask it just about every single time, if not every single time. And the question is, of all of the mentors that you had along this journey of life, and you've had so many mentors with many more to come, what's one lesson that you've learned from any of your mentors, just one lesson that's near and dear in your heart that you're going to pass on to us? Now, we may never meet your mentor, but we get to take the lesson. And you at home, before she mentions that to you, you hit that share button. You pay that message for. Hit the share button right now. Hit the share, take 2 thumbs and hit the share button. Do that now and pay this message forward to another little girl or another little boy or big girl or big boy that are ready not only to go east, but to serve other folks at a much higher level than what they're serving at now. And then now you can lean in. Rekesha, tell us about your mentor's lesson that you learned.
I wrote a whole book about it, but I'll tell you one of them. It's called Masterful Mentorship. And I've had the same mentor since I was 18 years old. And she's phenomenal. So one of the core lessons that she taught me, or it was actually, she asked me a question. She said, can they follow you home, Rekesha? And I said, what? She said, can they follow you home, Rekesha? Meaning this person in these books and the person who stands on stages and the person who inspires many people, when they follow your life home, will they find the same person? So basically, she was telling me to have integrity, to make sure that I wasn't putting up a front, that I was the same person on the stage, in your face, writing these words that lived it at home. And that really, really made an impact on me to make sure that I was not fronting. You know how it's easy now to act like we have a certain lifestyle with social media. We can stage anything. Now we have virtual backgrounds where I can look like I'm in a palace and I'm not. I can go rent a vehicle and stand in front of it. But she asked me, can they follow you home? And I think about that on a regular basis to make sure that I am living up to what I tell other people to do.
I love it. You've authored so many books yourself. You've helped, I don't know, a couple hundred, several hundred authors. You've read, I don't know how many books, 10,000 plus books. And I'm wondering if of all the books you've read, what's one lesson in any one of the books that just pops top of mind to you? Now, don't put the Bible in it. That's in a category by itself. Think and Grow Rich is somewhere else. I don't know where that is these days. But I want you just to think of what's one of the lessons, one of the ideas. And all of them are great. Everything you've done and it's been great. But what's one that's top of mind to you? And you're like, you know what? For the audience that's listening out there right now, they're ready to go east and they're tuned in. Here's something I would share from one of the books I've read, because authorship is part of the things that you teach and is what you do. So we're all curious.
Yes. One of the books that transformed my way of thinking was by one of the most world-renowned authors ever, John C. Maxwell. And that was The 360-Degree Leader. And sometimes that I think that we're taught that leadership is dominance and leadership is like being the big boss. But in that book, I really learned how leadership happens on all levels and all angles, and learned even the quietness in leadership, or influence really is what it was, how to influence up, down, and across. So that, I believe, helped me to develop even better as a leader, because initially I thought I'm in charge, and then I'm thinking, no, impact and influence. So if you have impact with the leader, then you're also leading in that way. I've recommended that book to several people that I have met, and it has helped them to be a little calmer in terms of whatever situation you get into, to always be a person of influence. And then that way you're always a person of leadership. Great read.
I love it. What does Rekesha? Well, let me ask this question: If you could, open up the mind right now of an entrepreneur, and you've given, I don't know, at least 100 golden nuggets already. But if you could open up the mind of an entrepreneur right now, and you could pour something into their brain that you have, and say, I'm gonna put it right in your brain, and I want you to implement this because this is going to help you over the next 12 to 16 months, right? I'm not going 5 years in the future, just going the next 12 to 18 months in the future. And I'm going to just plant something that I've learned along my journey, and it might be related to the Go East formula. You open up their brains, and you, the entrepreneur that's out there right now, you, the author that's out there right now, you, the speaker or the trainer, you, the person ready to go east. She's going to put something in your brain right now, and I want you to listen with new ears. I want you to watch her with new eyes, because this can make a big difference for you. Over to you.
They say that experience is a good teacher, and I say that maybe. With the rapid pace that things are changing now, I think it's okay to use a cheat sheet. Uh-oh. And what am I saying? I'm saying that you don't have to figure everything out yourself. I think it's a fallacy. I think that's the long way. I think it's long math. And there's a time now where you can get rich relatively quickly with the right systems in place. So I'm inviting you to stop doing long math, honestly, and to get around people with answers. That's the cheat sheet. When I say I get around people who understand money. I get around people who are seasoned entrepreneurs, so that I don't make decisions that could potentially wreck my business, put me in a lawsuit, I call my friends who know what they're doing and get their advice before I stumble into something. Don't allow trouble to dictate your change. Allow experienced people to help you get the shortcuts. It's okay. It's okay to take the shortcut. You can take the bus and you can take a jet. I choose the jet. And my jet is to align myself with people who are already experienced so that I can apply that knowledge to what it is that I do and cut out all of the stumbling through things. Why are you trying to figure this out? Why are you trying to reinvent the wheel? You can pick up a book and get a shortcut. You can pick up the phone and get a shortcut. You can pick up your device and get a shortcut. But I'm telling you, short math is the way to big money.
I love it. I love it. Short math is the way to make money. Said so well. Second to last question. We're coming down the home stretch. But what is one of your core philosophies? Maybe one of your affirmations, maybe a belief that you are constantly telling yourself, just not to keep you encouraged, but in many cases, it's a core principle that you live by. So, Shay, what's the question? What is one of your core principles? What's one of your core beliefs, or what's one of your affirmations that you hold near and dear to you? Did you tell yourself that we now are inside your brain, we're inside your mind, and said, oh, that's one of the things that make her tick?
Yes, this is the subtitle of my life. I always say, I am Rekesha Pittman, and I am turning talents into treasure. I do not go to the bank, I go to the treasury. So as an entrepreneur, if there is a problem, I'm a great problem solver. I must solve my own problems very well first. And the way to do that is to tap into the talents that I already have. So I don't think about how much money I have in the bank. All I need to know is how much does it cost? And from there, I go to the treasury. How can I get it? Never say I don't have it. Always say, how can I get it? That is the core of a true entrepreneur. I'm looking for a way to solve this problem. So I go inside and say, I'm a teacher trainer. What is it that I need to create this? Do I need to develop royalties when I publish a book? Is there a small course that I can put together and I can make what it is that I need? Is there something that I need to get online and say? It's so funny. Every time I show up to say something online, somehow that leads to another client. You know, what is it? Is there something that I'm missing in my business? So for instance, this may speak to someone. If you're a service-based business, is there a product line that you can add to that service-based business that is going to increase your bottom line, right? So go into the treasury, whatever that core talent is that you do so well, develop a revenue or a line out of that is going to put you in the position where financially you don't have to worry. You don't have to hustle. You don't have to do things that you don't want to do, right? Because you've gone deep into that treasury and said, now I know what I have is of value. I'm going to exchange this value, right, for someone else's payment so that I can continue serving people this way. If not, you're going to be forced to stop serving people and go do something else in order to keep the lights on, so to speak. So we don't want to do it that way. So go to the treasury and then you can take that to the bank.
Take that directly to the bank. Probably last question, then we'll let you close out. I'll come back and ask a final question, but let's just slow down for a moment. And I'm imagining that you're speaking to the little girls that are out there, or the women that are out there that are saying, you know what, I want to do this. And for you, so we can frame it, imagine it's years from now, and your daughter has an opportunity to see this. She's got a hold of this long lost video file. If it's videos, I don't know what it's going to be called by the time she gets that age. And she gets to hear a message from mom to the women that are out there. They want to go east. And it's your message to them, maybe to encourage or inspire them as they're listening. Your daughter gets to be on the other side. What would you say to the little girl that's wondering, can I do this? To the mom that's going through a divorce that's wondering, can I do this? To the person that's married that says, wow, can I do this and have my marriage? Can I do this and still take care of myself? Can I do this and not feel bad, like I'm being guilty, like I'm not all in? And guys, we're going to be able to benefit from this, but this is a message from really Rekesha Pittman to her daughter and other women that are watching. I'll give it to you to have a minute or two, whatever pops in your mind.
I know that many of us have been trained to bear the weight of the world on our shoulders, but you don't have to. You don't have to. Free yourself to save yourself and free yourself to serve yourself best, right? So I would tell little girls, like, I know that we're nurturers. I know that traditionally that's how we have been, and that's a good thing to be. However, you do not have to limit yourself based on your environment, based on your circumstances. Everybody has their story. I am from the hood, okay? I am from the hood. I was raised in Long Beach, and and the part of it that was the hood, okay? So I saw education or information, honestly, as my way out. I wasn't typical. I love to read books. I like to explore information and conversation. I never felt like my environment limited me. It couldn't even contain me. That's the way that I felt about it. So whatever it is that you love and whatever it is that you do, embrace that. And if you're different, embrace that. It's okay. You don't have to conform. You don't have to be normal. You don't have to be the standard. But what you do need to be is integral, and you need to be true. So if you are true to that, naturally you will evolve, right, into someone who, because you are secure within yourself and because you are good with you, then you can be good with other people too. So do not feel like you have to save the world. Do not feel like you're responsible for everybody else's success. The best thing that you can be is an example. The best thing that you can be is an example, and people will see you and they'll want to gravitate towards you and follow you because they see something that they can become. Don't try to convince them, live it and attract them, and then they'll follow you.
Says so well. Let me say first, thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. You have such a heart to give. You have a heart to serve. You're truly amazing, and you're really incredible. For everyone out there, do me a favor, hit the share button. If you haven't did it, if you've done it before, share it right now. Share it a second time. Share it a third time. Help someone else right now along this journey so they can help other folks. We will get there together. We will do this together. So hit the share button, please. Pay the message forward. And then as we close out, I'd like for you, if you would, Rekesha, to, number one, tell folks once again how they can reconnect with you. You're doing this whole Go East. It's very important. It's helping not only change entrepreneurs, not only change authors, speakers, and trainers, but it's changing families. It's changing communities, and it's making this country and this world a much better place because of the messages that are being shared. So take a moment, if you would, once again, they tell folks how they can connect with you, how they can stay in the conversation with Go East. And then I turn over you to give your final thoughts. Everyone is watching. Again, thank you so much. You're so incredible. Can't wait to have you back, by the way. It's time to go east, baby. It's just time to go east because Rekesha Pittman is in the building. Over to you, Rekesha.
Well, thank you, Shay. You are phenomenal. You're consistent. You give so many people an opportunity to share on your platform liberally. And I'm absolutely honored to be here and to be back again. And the time seems to fly by so fast every time we get together. Yeah. So thank you for that. And for those of you who would like to stay connected with me, the easiest way to know what I'm doing is to follow Rekesha Pittman. So that's Rekesha Pittman with 2 T's. All of my social media platforms, you follow me, Rekesha Pittman, you'll know every single thing that I am doing. But if you want to go east and you are ready to fill in any of the blanks in your entrepreneur, author, speaker, trainer formula, you can head over to theeastsummit.com to join us in person, or you can go to theeastformula.com to see what we have upcoming and ongoing and meet us east somewhere along the way. Thank you for a phenomenal time talking about how entrepreneurs can maximize the East formula for lucrative opportunities and innovative income streams. Go east with me.
Go east, go east, go east. With that being said, thank you all for watching. I want you to know as you're all tuned in that you're amazing, that you're all incredible. You're already winners, and you're certainly already champions. And for you, today is your January 1st. You can be an author. You can be an entrepreneur. You can be a speaker. You can be a trainer. I said it backwards, but you can go east. Today is your January 1st. You can impact lives as fast as possible as you can when you go east first. For you, as you're watching, put your sunglasses on. the future is bright, and the best is still yet to come. The best is yet to come. I promise you, the best is yet to come. With that being said, for those folks that are curious, my name, by the way, is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you, from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. Remember this: time is long. Life, on the other hand, I promise you, is very, very short. So you got to live in that moment, and you got to make it count. God bless me. Wish you success. Thanks a lot, Rekesha. We're out of here. We love you all. Peace. We're gone. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
Yeah.
Thank you. God bless.